Personnel. Personnel are both an early game, mid game, late game content. Just depends on how far you are upgrading it at the various stages of your play. Personnel was introduced with land. It's the first link under here under manage. Originally, there was just, gosh, I guess there was just scout. Yeah, scout had to do with raids. Treasure hunter is for trinkets. Quartermaster is the abyss, and dungeon keeper is with the for dungeons, but was added just in patch 11. So when personnel was introduced, it was just scout, and it did something a little bit different than what it does now. But there are two ways to upgrade each one of these personnel. The first is with gold, and that increases the level. The next is rarity. So you see all of mine are currently red, which, just to pop over here to the documentation site, common. Then you go uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and mythic. Now upgrading rarity takes credits. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and then you can see there's a running total there. So it takes 750 credits to max out the rarity. For gold, first level 100,000, or yeah, to purchase up to level 2. So everyone has I guess a level 1. And then to purchase these additional levels, here in this column is the individual level purchase and then the running total. So you can see at that 50 level, where that first set of bonuses are, we're just over 500 million total to get there. At 75, just over 2.5 billion, so 2 billion more than the level 50. And then if we go down to level 100 here, we're at 10.5 billion, so about 8 billion more than the 75. And then switching back over to the game for a second. So you can see here, yeah, so for Scout, increases the likelihood of you getting a higher level raid. And if you don't know what that means, if I go to land and go to raid, let's see, you see I have some white raids and some green raids. The green ones are the uncommon raids. White ones are common. And as of patch 11, this all changed. There used to be specific levels of raids, and those had just a hard-coded rarity. That level 6 raid was always a rare or something like that. Now, any of these raids can be any rarity, and that's what the Scout is influencing. So each level increases the chance of a higher rarity raid, and decreases the chance of a lower level raid. So higher Scout, you'll get higher level raids, larger rewards, higher rarity for, again, better rewards. Each rarity upgrade, so that's just the coloring of that Scout name, increases the chance of a high level raid. It increases the amount of raids scouted per day by 1. Now this Scout purchase with the credits here for Scout, I highly recommend, especially when you can afford it, because you start out with only getting three scouted raids a day, and then you can take that up, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can have a total of 8 a day. So if you have that, you're really never running standard raids. And standard raids pay very poorly. So you want to be running scouted raids all day long. So I do recommend that. Your treasure hunter each level increases the chance of finding a trinket by 3% and increases the chance of a higher level trinket, a higher rarity trinket by 0.05%. Each rarity upgrade increases the chance of a higher rarity trinket by 1. So if we pop over here to trinkets for a second, you'll see I have some blues and I have a lot of yellows. That's what they're talking about, the rarity, right? You find these higher rarity ones. If all you're ever doing is finding blues all the time, right? You may want to be increasing your treasure hunter. Now, this is where for new players, mid-level players, late game players, the level the recommended level you get to changes. So a new, within your first month, within your first couple weeks, throwing a few levels into treasure hunter. Even if we just switch back over here for a second, let's even go to let's even talk about level 10, right? 5.6 million gold, or level 20, 31 million. Okay, that is reasonable in a month of play. Bringing Treasure Hunter to level 20 will give you a 60% chance of a trinket drop, or sorry, increase your chance by 60%, which I do recommend. Treasure Hunter, as you can see by my screen, is the one I have maxed out. It's the one I have the highest level of, because this is the only way to get trinkets, right? You can't buy trinkets, and even if you were to buy trinket fragments, you can't craft trinkets without trinket essence, which you only get from trinkets. So this is why, in my mind, like, this is the best one to invest in to get high levels, when you can afford it, because it's the only way to really get high level trinkets, and a lot of them, which you'll need to break down a whole bunch of them for fragments and essence, is with the treasure hunter. Now, these level bonuses are additive. So at level 50 I had 10%, but at level 75 I had 30% of a double drop, of 2 trinkets dropping, and at level 100 I have a 60%. These are 2 separate trinkets, not the double of the same. So you can get a blue and a yellow, an orange and a yellow. You can get any combination. These are just 2 separate trinkets that were rolled. Quartermaster helps with the Abyss, the special combat area, covered in the Portal video. And then Dungeon Keeper, we'll cover more in the Dungeon video. Each level increases the chance of moving a floor by 1% and increases all dungeon experience by 1%. That's nice, because the quicker you do the floors, the less experience you get. You'll actually get more dungeoneering experience if you get stuck on a floor and just keep fighting without progressing. So there's a nice trade-off of, you'll move through the floors faster, but we will give you more experience. Each rarity provides 5% tokens, 5% chance of passing a floor, and 5% experience. And again, that's additive. For if you go to the token store video, you'll see kind of what the dungeoneering tokens are spent on. Early game, even mid game, Dungeon Keeper's not going to matter too much. Late game, when you start going for those last few slots of each type of jewel, it's going to save you millions and millions in dungeon key purchases, or just a lot of time trying to save up thousands of dungeon keys if you're getting more dungeoneering tokens per dungeon. Because at a certain point, you don't need the experience anymore. You need dungeon tokens. And so the faster you can get them, which is, what that skipping the floor or passing the floor bonus is for, that does help get those tokens faster. So this is personnel. And yeah, new players definitely come in here. A few levels of Scout, a few levels of Treasure Hunter are going to help, as you can afford it with bound tokens or purchase tokens. These additional rarity levels help. And that is going to be it for personnel.